Hello, my name is Adele. If this is your first time to stop at my channel, welcome and do come again. I do private readings. The information is down below as to how you can contact me through my email. And do share the channel with your friends. Um, and that's what we should be doing. If you share my channel, I'll share your channel. Um, and therefore, we'll be able to grow our channels much quicker and much faster. This is the month for Scorpio. How time does fly. And this video is from the 24th until November the 12th with members in that sign, but you're Scorpio, so all of it will apply to you. And I also want to say this too. You will find some of the same information in the solar houses that will apply to anybody with the birth digit of 9, 18, or 27. Or if your moon is in Scorpio, or if your rising is in Scorpio, this information will apply to you as well. This video is from, as I've said, from the 24th of October to November the 12th, covering members in that sign, but it will cover all Scorpios to, maybe your degree is in a certain aspect to what we're talking about. This is a good time for you to change, do some changes with yourself. You're very interested in, at this time, in your own personal self with the sun in the first house. But it also has a lot to do with business for you. I always like to call Scorpio the politician of the zodiac as well as the businessman. And this is something that most Scorpios bring into this life with them. Nobody teach it to them. Maybe nobody in your family was ever in business or a politician. But this is what you bring with you when you come in. We got Venus in the first house. We have Mercury in that house. So this is a good time to deal with some communications that you have to do. And, you should make nice contacts at this time. Because Mercury is in good aspect to Saturn and Pluto, which will make the information flow very easy for you, or information to come to you. You might even have to be called to jury duty with this aspect. So if you do, just be looking forward to it. I was also looking at your second house here. You have some very good aspects here. You got the power of fortune here. You got Jupiter here. And Venus is going to move into that house on the 2nd of November, which means that what you have been working towards in business, many of you, Venus is going to then put the money into your own bank account. So that's a good thing that will be happening for you. Also, I'm only going to be talking about the houses where we have the energy in. So we have the power of fortune, Jupiter, and I put an asteroid in there, that house for you too, which is very favorable to your bank account. So for all the hard work that you've been doing, you will find that the money will be coming in. But one thing that we got to talk about here is that Mercury is also going to go retrograde on the 2nd of November, which might interfere with communications. And so don't start anything new at that time, because it's not a good time to do. But it'll give you time to go back and make some corrections, what you should be doing. Maybe changing some things that you no need to be changed, but this will be a good time to do that. But Jupiter also will have to do with maybe big sales that you might want to make. You might want to be changing your car, or maybe you might even be changing your home, selling something very large. But Jupiter here will give you a good price. In the 3rd house, we have Saturn and we have Pluto. So if you've been running, Scorpios, if you've been running into a lot of blocks, it's because your ruler is in the sign of Saturn. And Saturn makes a lot of obstacles in your way sometimes. But one thing about it, Pluto allows you to fight through these obstacles and get where you got to go. On the 3rd house, we have Saturn and Pluto in that house, and we have the South Node, which also is the nature of Saturn. And this is the house of communications, short trips, and your blood relatives. So I can see here that maybe need to be some um, making up with blood relatives. Also, this is the house of your neighbors. If you've been having problems with neighbors, or you don't like how the neighborhood is changing, you know what you got to do if you don't like the neighborhood. But with your relatives, you can make up with them or have a meeting with them. And you do look like you're going to be traveling to see your relatives too. Um, in the fifth house, we have Neptune in that house, and this is the house. This is a very exciting house. You find you might want to take some music lessons or get into an exercise program to change your body, because you've been thinking about some of that, maybe getting into an exercise program if you're not already into one. So this is a good thing. In the sixth house, we have Lilith in that house. That's the dark moon Lilith. Has a nature of Mars because it's in the sign of Aries, which means that you should be working with your diet. Maybe changing the way that you prepare the food. And also this has to do with coworkers if you're working with them. So try to be a little bit more patient. Your patience might be, wow, on edge at this time. In the seventh house, we have Uranus in that house. And Uranus is making opposition to your first house. And Uranus in this house has a lot to do with changing relationships, or if you're in a relationship, the person might just kind of come and go in your life as they please. But it's a very energizing relationship. It's a relationship that's really made your life very different. It's like something that you've never seen before. So, you just might have to get a handle on how you feel about this issue here, because this is not a stable relationship. On the eighth house, we have no planets in that house. But because we have no planets in that house, we can take the planets from the second house and they can reflect into that house. And this is the house of other people's resource, which is very good for you getting money from other people, for your business if you're in business, or if you just, want to go out and have some games of chances and play the lottery or bingo or something. You would be very lucky at this time. In the ninth house, we have the North Node, which is the nature of Jupiter in that house, which is good because that's the house of Jupiter. And somehow, this year, we have the midheaven coming right through that house, which is good. So you might have, as I said before, you might have to have some legal issues, but they seem as if they will work out in your favor. So whatever it is, maybe you have been, maybe not getting things done at the post office like you should. Maybe some changes need to be made as to how you do things. In the 10th house, we don't have a planet in that house, but the sun is up there on that house, which is a very good place for it to be. And it's good for business. So just keep plugging away. If it's in business that you're in, if it's a job that you want to change, now's a good time for you to change it, because you would be doing very well in doing that. And also in the 11th house, we have the moon in that house. Some of you will be getting married too with some of these good aspects you're having and making some nice relationships. You might have to, this is good because Uranus over in that 7th house might be separating you from a relationship. We have the moon in the 11th house, which means this is not a good time for you to be by yourself. So work with some groups. If you're working with groups, this is a good thing. The moon is here, which could bring women into your life who could bring a relationship or bring you business. In the 12th house, we have Mars in that house, opposing the dark moon Lilith. So I never like for Mars to be in this house, because some of the times people that you have thought were very genuine with you, they're not. And you know who they are. So work with that. But I like this aspect because Mars is in the sign of Libra and Venus is in the sign of Scorpio, which means that they have exchange status between the two of them. So that means, they pretend that they're your friends, but they're really not. And it's a lot of jealousy going on with this particular aspect. So, just try to, not tell all of your business to people. Keep some things to yourself. Well, that's what we see for you, Scorpio. And really, it's a pretty good time for you to be doing business or making some changes in your life and your appearances, because you're going to be quite successful at this time. So until next time, don't forget to share the channel with your friends, and we should all be sharing each other's channels, and we will make the channels to grow. So until next time, have a happy holiday.